Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Devin, Dylan,
I'm Austin from Safe Haven Music.
and today we're checking out the brand new Made in Japan Fender International Color Series. Right now we have Morocco red, Maui blue, Monaco yellow, and they have Sahara taupe, which is only done on the Strats. We'll put like a picture of it like on screen or whatever over here to show it because we don't have them in stock. It's like the hottest color going right now. The whole line features all basswood bodies across the whole board. They have 70s inspired pickups across all the different instruments. The Strat and the Jazz both have the 3-bolt neck plate with the neck tilt, and the P bass right over here, and the Tele do not. The Strat and the Jazz bass both have the bullet truss rod adjustment, and the Tele and the P bass do not. They have the vintage truss rod adjustment that you have to take off the neck and adjust when the neck is off the body.
All four of them are going to have the vintage 70s inspired pickups, as well as a U-shaped neck, which is really comfy, and bone nut.
Yeah, and they have a 9.5-inch radius with medium jumbo frets, which, though this is 70s inspired, I would say it definitely feels very comfortable, almost modern in a sense. And that was pretty much the case when they were going to the 70s and the 80s. They were looking to get a little bit of a different design versus what came originally in the 50s and 60s with Fender's line. So they were able to make something a little bit more unique for the time. Also coming with the black plastics on the knobs and the pickup covers, and then the white guard is a good offset that was really iconic for this series specifically. And one thing to mention on the Jazz basses too is that in that time they had the block inlay, perloid inlays across the whole neck on the maple fingerboard, along with the cream binding on the neck too. So these also come with the vintage 70s F-stamp tuners on the back of the Tele and Strat headstocks. And the Strat specifically, let's look at the bridge that we got going on that one. That one's still very, I would say, original Tele design, but you can tell on the Stratocaster specifically, there is like the squared off saddles, which you definitely saw in the 70s and 80s all the time. They only do this for the 70s, right?
Yeah,
The bigger
I
logo
think
was
so.
introduced in the 70s.
With the gold outline.
Yeah, no, it looks really sharp like this. And I think that's something cool too. If you think about it, like they're starting to do way more 70s inspired instruments, because back then the stigma was, because it was CBS, that that era of Fender was just not good enough because it wasn't the original Leo Fender made Fenders that the 50s and the 60s had. But people realize when they're looking for these old vintage 70s and 80s Fenders now that they were good enough. People just are putting it to a different standard. And I think they're just overall a different style of instrument. Personally, I'm a big fan of the 70s because the bigger headstock, just more wood for sustain, especially for the Strat at least. And I would say the slimmer neck is a little bit faster than the 50s and the 60s. Keeps it very easy to play. They're also kind of doing that with, like, say, the new American Vintage 2s. They're putting in, like, 70s era, Tele, Strat, Jazz bass, maybe? I don't know what they're doing with Jazz bass, but either way, they're doing a lot more 70s guitars these days, and I think it's really good to expand upon that era of Fender. It shouldn't be forgotten. It's not very often that you get basswood body Fender style guitars, especially in like their original, I would say, configuration. Basswood on a Strat definitely gives a bit of a deeper, more bassier sound, basswood.
I think it gives a little more articulation to the sound across the entire like product line for the international series. Basswood gives it like just some extra like clarity on the top end, rather than like normally like Ash is at least close to it, but the Alder usually gets a little bit more mid-rangey. It's not as bright, but the Basswood gives you like a very equal, balanced kind of tone, especially on the basses.
Yeah.
Usually you'll find that the P basses are, and even the jazz basses are very mid-rangey, or at least like the P bass can be too bass heavy, but the Basswood kind of evens it out.
And even just playing all three of these together, like you could hear each one individually.
Yeah.
Because they
Yeah.
just stand out on their own. I
Definitely.
think definitely the Basswood helps with that.
Yeah,
Kind of
yeah.
give it its own character.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. This has been the Fender International Color Series with Safe Haven Music. Thanks for checking out our video. If you like what you saw, like and subscribe.